The beat drops hard as 23-year-old Ethan Hayes steps out of his sleek black Tesla, designer sneakers hitting the cracked pavement of Riverside High School. 5 million subscribers know this face, this story, this incredible journey from food stamps to fame. His camera crew scrambles to keep up as he adjusts his gold chain and flashes that $1 million smile that's made him the hottest motivational YouTuber in the game. Rise Up Ethan isn't just a channel, it's a movement. "What's good, Rise Up family?" Ethan calls out to his camera, arms spread wide as the imposing brick building looms behind him. Your boy is back where it all started, right here in the heart of Chicago's South Side. The neighborhood tells its own story. Boarded windows stare back like hollow eyes, graffiti tags mark territory lines, and the distant sound of sirens reminds everyone that survival here isn't guaranteed. But Ethan remembers when this place was everything to him. When his single mother worked 3 jobs just to keep the lights on, when government assistants kept food on their table, when staying in school meant staying alive. Today we're filming something special, he continues, his energy infectious as always. From the hood to Hollywood, how I broke the cycle that traps so many kids who look like me. Behind him, 18-year-old Sofia Ramirez adjusts her hijab and checks the backup camera equipment. Brilliant, determined, and hungry for success, she's everything Ethan sees in himself at that age. Her dream of becoming an engineer burns as bright as his did. "You nervous?" Ethan asks her with a grin. "Nervous? Please," Sophia shoots back, her Latina confidence shining through. "I've been waiting for this moment my whole life." The security guard barely glances up as they sign in. Same tired faces, same worn hallways, same smell of industrial cleaner, mixed with teenage dreams and disappointment. Ethan's eyes scan every corner, every classroom door, every motivational poster peeling at the edges. This place saved him when the streets were calling his name, when racial profiling made him feel like a target instead of a human being. "Yo, Sophia, get some shots of that mural over there," he directs, pointing to faded artwork that's seen better days. "We're gonna paint our own message right next to it." The old gymnasium calls to him like a siren song. Every pickup game, every pep rally, every moment he chose books over blocks happened in that sacred space. "I'm gonna grab some quick B-roll footage," he tells his crew. "Keep rolling out here, I'll be right back." The heavy doors creak as he slips inside, camera in hand, ready to capture the nostalgia that his subscribers eat up. The empty bleachers hold 1,000 memories, each one a stepping stone away from poverty. But then he hears it. A voice echoing from the shadows near the equipment room, hushed but urgent. Principal Harlan, the same man who used to lecture Ethan about staying focused, speaking in tones that send ice through his veins. "Plant the fake mold in every classroom tonight," the principal whispers into his phone. "The health inspection fails Friday, school shuts down, and you buy the land cheap for your luxury condos." Ethan's blood turns to fire. His hands shake as he keeps recording, barely breathing. Those poor kids, they'll scatter to worse schools. Gentrification wins again. Principal Harlan continues with chilling casualness. The camera trembles in Ethan's grip. This isn't just any school. This is home for hundreds of kids facing the same battles he fought, the same systemic racism, the same crushing weight of poverty and low expectations. "Hey, Ethan Hayes?" The voice behind him makes his heart stop. A security guard emerges from the darkness, flashlight beam cutting through the gym. "What are you doing lurking around here? I heard some of your sponsors might pull out if you cause any trouble at this school." Ethan's mind races. Sponsors. Brand deals. The careful image he's built over years of grinding, of proving that kids from the hood can make it without becoming statistics. "Just getting some footage, man." Ethan replies smoothly, slipping the camera into his jacket. "Nothing but positive vibes, you know how I roll." Minutes later, he's back with his crew, but everything has changed. The weight of what he's heard sits heavy on his chest as he tries to maintain that signature energy. "Guys," he says to the camera, his voice slightly shaky, "this isn't just my old school. This is home for kids like me who get judged for their zip code, their skin color, their family's bank account." Sophia notices the change immediately. Ethan, you good? He forces a smile, grabbing a can of spray paint from their supplies. We're gonna leave something special for these kids, a reminder that dreams don't have color barriers. As he starts painting Dream Big, no matter your skin in bold letters across the wall, familiar voices echo down the hallway. Well, well, well. Look who came crawling back. Three former classmates approach, janitor uniforms hanging loose on their frames. The same guys who used to run these halls now push brooms through them. Still acting like you're better than us, rich boy? Marcus sneers. Forgot where you came from? Ethan laughs it off for the camera, the perfect content creator keeping things light. But inside, the pressure builds. His management team's words ring in his ears. Positive vibes only, don't rock the boat, protect the brand. But as he looks at Sophia's determined face, as he remembers every kid in this building fighting against a system designed to fail them, something shifts. The memory hits him like a freight train. 15-year-old Ethan, walking home from school, thrown against a police car for matching a description. The humiliation, the rage, the vow he made that night to prove every stereotype wrong. Sophia, start a live stream, he says suddenly, decision crystallizing in his mind. But as she opens the app, the screen flickers and dies. What's happening? She asks, panic creeping into her voice. Ethan stares at the dead phone, then at the school around him. Someone doesn't want this story told. The darkness swallows Riverside High as Ethan and Sophia crouch behind a dumpster at midnight, hearts pounding like war drums. His custom YouTube drone hovers silently above the courtyard, its camera capturing everything in crystal-clear night vision. This is insane, Sophia whispers, adjusting her equipment bag. If we get caught, we won't, Ethan replies, his jaw set with determination. These kids deserve the truth. Through the drone's feed, they watch a white van pull up to the school's back entrance. 3 workers in hazmat suits emerge, carrying suspicious containers and equipment. Are you getting this? Ethan breathes, watching his screen in disbelief. The workers systematically enter each classroom, spraying what looks like mold along the walls and baseboards, fake evidence being planted with military precision. But then the drone picks up voices near the principal's office window. Ethan adjusts the audio settings, and his entire world shatters. These black and brown kids don't deserve this prime real estate. A familiar voice sneers through the speaker. Luxury condos will clean up this neighborhood once and for all. Ethan's hands shake so violently, he nearly drops the controller. The man coordinating the entire operation, the developer buying up the land, the mastermind behind destroying hundreds of children's futures is Uncle Victor. His own blood. The man who walked out on their family 15 years ago, disgusted by their poverty, ashamed of their struggle. Stop dreaming, boy. Victor's voice echoes from Ethan's childhood memories. Poverty's in our blood. We'll never be more than what this neighborhood made us. Sophia sees the tears streaming down Ethan's face and grabs his shoulder. Ethan, who is that man? My uncle, he whispers, voice breaking. My own uncle. The betrayal cuts deeper than any racist comment, any sponsor threat, any online hate. This is family destroying family, internalized racism weaponized against their own community. By morning, Ethan's phone explodes with notifications. Not fan mail or collaboration requests, but ultimatums from his biggest sponsors. Drop this investigation immediately or lose your deals, reads the email from Sports Tech Apparel. Influencers don't rock the boat on sensitive topics like racism or gentrification. Another from Gamer Fuel Energy. Your brand represents positivity, not political activism. Choose wisely. The pressure builds like a vice around his skull. 5 million subscribers, brand partnerships worth hundreds of thousands, his entire livelihood hanging by a thread. Meanwhile, Sophia works frantically in the school's science lab, analyzing the mold samples they collected. Her laptop displays chemical breakdowns and environmental data. This mold is completely synthetic, she announces, eyes blazing with scientific fury. But check this out. They're ignoring actual hazards like lead contamination in the water fountains that disproportionately affects poor communities. Her phone buzzes with a leaked audio recording. Principal Harlan's voice fills the room with casual sexism that makes Ethan's blood boil. A little girl playing scientist? She should stick to makeup tutorials and leave the real work to professionals. Sophia's face crumbles, years of fighting gender stereotypes in STEM crashing down at once. Tears stream down her cheeks as she slams her fist on the lab table. See? Even when we prove ourselves, even when we're right, they doubt us Latinas, she sobs. They think we belong in beauty videos, not changing the world. Ethan immediately switches to mentor mode, camera rolling as he speaks directly to her heart. Sophia, this is exactly why we fight. Poverty traps families in cycles of desperation. Racism divides communities that should stand together. Sexism silences brilliant voices like yours. He places a steady hand on her shoulder. But you know what's stronger than all their hate? Your mind, your courage, your refusal to be what they expect. Sophia wipes her tears and nods, scientific determination returning to her eyes. Later that evening, Ethan decides to lighten the mood with some classic YouTube content. He sets up an elaborate prank, using his drone and voice modulator to convince one of the conspirators that the school is haunted. "Help me, ghostly spirits," he calls in a dramatic voice, watching the man run screaming from the building. "The truth will set you free." Sophia laughs despite everything, and for a moment, they're just two young creators having fun. But the internet never sleeps, and neither does hate. By the next morning, Ethan's personal information has been leaked across social media. His home address, his mother's workplace, even Sophia's school schedule appears on forums dedicated to destroying his life. The comment section becomes a war zone of racial slurs and death threats. Fake activist profiting off black pain. Go back to the hood where you belong. Stop playing victim and know your place. The isolation hits him like a freight train. 5 million followers, but sitting alone in his childhood bedroom, he's never felt more alone. He sets up his camera for a solo vlog, hands trembling as he tries to find the words. "I want to be real with you guys for a minute," he begins, voice cracking. "Fame is weird. Everyone thinks you're living the dream, but sometimes the pressure to stay in your lane, to not rock the boat, it's suffocating." Tears fall freely as he continues. "They want me to dance for views, smile for sponsors, and never mention the racism that shaped my entire life. But how can I sleep knowing kids are about to lose their school to greed?" His phone buzzes with the notification that changes everything. Channel strike, vandalism content detected. Monetization suspended immediately. The attached video shows his drone footage, but it's been edited, manipulated to make it look like he was the one vandalizing school property, not documenting the conspiracy. Uncle Victor's final move. Checkmate. "Sophia," he calls, voice hollow with defeat. "They got us. My channel's been demonetized. They twisted our evidence against us." The room spins as the weight of systematic oppression crashes down. Family betrayal, corporate pressure, racist attacks, and now complete financial ruin. But in Sophia's eyes, he sees something Uncle Victor never understood. The fire that burns in people who refuse to be broken. "Ethan," she says quietly, "this isn't over. We've got something they don't." What's that? The truth, and a community that's about to wake up. The leather seats of Ethan's Tesla have become his bed for the third night running. Demonetized, blacklisted by sponsors, and too proud to crawl back to his mother's cramped apartment, he stares at the school's silhouette through his windshield. Memories flood back like a broken dam. 11 years old, sleeping in this same parking lot with his mom when they got evicted. The shame, the hunger, the teachers who looked at him like he was already a lost cause. From the hood to homeless again, he whispers to his phone camera, recording despite having nowhere to post it. Guess some cycles never really break. But as the sun rises, something beautiful starts happening. His phone buzzes with messages from old classmates, current students, and community members who've been watching his investigation unfold. Yo, Ethan, remember me? Marcus from Miss Johnson's class reads one text. Lost 3 job interviews last month because of my address. They see Southside and assume I'm trouble. Another from a current student. My family got evicted last week because developers are buying everything. We're staying in a motel now. Please don't let them close our school too. Sophia arrives with coffee and a laptop bag, dark circles under her eyes from pulling an all-nighter. Her research has uncovered something massive. Ethan, this conspiracy goes way deeper, she says, spreading documents across his dashboard. These developers specifically target minority schools because they know the communities have less political power to fight back. She points to financial records and government contracts. They avoid spending money on real infrastructure problems like lead pipes and asbestos because closing schools is cheaper than fixing systemic underfunding. Ethan's jaw tightens as the full scope becomes clear. This isn't just about one school, it's about a pattern of institutional racism disguised as economic necessity. Time to go live, he declares, setting up his phone against the windshield. If they want to silence me, they better be ready for the consequences. The live stream notification goes out to his 5 million followers. Within minutes, thousands of viewers flood in despite his demonetized status. What's good, rise up family, Ethan says, walking toward the school entrance. Today, we're confronting the man destroying dreams for profit. Principal Harlan steps out of his office as Ethan storms through the hallways, camera rolling. The older man's face goes pale when he realizes he's being broadcast live. You know this hurts Black and brown families the most, Ethan challenges, getting in his face. When this school closes, poverty cycles continue. Kids scatter to overcrowded schools miles away. Dreams die. Harlan shifts uncomfortably, aware that thousands are watching. Ethan, you don't understand the budget pressures. Selling the land saves jobs for some staff members. Sometimes tough choices have to be made. Tough choices? Ethan's voice rises with indignation. You mean profitable choices for your developer friends while families get displaced? The confrontation escalates until Harlan retreats to his office, slamming the door. But Ethan's phone keeps buzzing with live chat messages supporting his stance. Meanwhile, Sophia has been working her own investigation angle. Her engineering background led her to hack into the school's computer systems, searching for more evidence. But as she works alone in the computer lab, 3 large men in suits enter quietly. They assume the teenage Latina girl won't be a threat. Girls can't hack systems anyway. One sneers, grabbing her laptop. You're coming with us until this little investigation disappears. What they don't know is that Sophia has been preparing for this possibility. Hidden in her backpack are smoke grenades she built in chemistry class and a GPS tracker connected to Ethan's phone. The moment they try to escort her out, she triggers the smoke, uses her knowledge of the building's layout to escape through maintenance tunnels, and hacks their phones while they're confused and coughing. Ethan, she calls breathlessly as she emerges from a different exit. I got their emails, financial records, everything. And these idiots just proved how much they underestimate women in STEM. Later, as news outlets pick up the story, Ethan notices how they describe the investigation. Every headline calls Sophia his sidekick or assistant, erasing her crucial contributions. Hold up, Ethan interrupts a live news interview. Sophia isn't my sidekick. She's the brains behind this entire operation. She's proving every stereotype about Latina women in science completely wrong. To lighten the mood and keep viewers engaged, Ethan turns Sophia's kidnapping into content gold. Yo, that escape was better than any YouTube escape room challenge. Girl literally MacGyvered her way out using chemistry and engineering. Sophia laughs despite the trauma. Next time they try to silence a woman in STEM, they better come with better security. But their celebration is cut short when police sirens fill the air. Someone tipped off authorities about the investigation, and squad cars surround the school. However, by the time officers storm the building, Uncle Victor has vanished like smoke. Only a threatening voicemail remains on Ethan's phone. Boy, you think you're so smart. Your mama still lives on Elm Street, apartment 3B. Keep pushing, and she pays the price for your disrespect. The threat against his mother ignites something primal in Ethan. This stops being about content creation or social justice and becomes about family protection. We're going live again, he announces to Sophia. Full transparency this time. The community needs to know everything. As the live stream begins, Ethan reveals the shocking family connection. The developer destroying our school, displacing our families, spreading fake toxic hazards. That's my uncle Victor Hayes. My own blood is gentrifying our neighborhood. The revelation sends shockwaves through the live chat. But Ethan continues, his voice breaking with emotion. Uncle Victor, I know you're watching. Racism hurt both of us growing up. Society told us we weren't good enough, smart enough, worthy enough. But don't pass that pain on to these kids. Don't let internalized hate destroy innocent futures. Outside the school, car horns begin honking. Parents arrive first, then students, then community members who've been following the story online. Signs appear reading Save Our School and Education over Gentrification as the crowd grows larger by the minute. The community has awakened, and they're not going back to sleep. Through his phone screen, Ethan watches as his livestream viewer count climbs past 100,000 concurrent viewers. The revolution is being televised, and Uncle Victor is about to face the power of an angry community armed with the truth. The live stream counter explodes past 10 million viewers as Ethan stands in the middle of Riverside High's courtyard, surrounded by hundreds of community members holding signs and chanting for justice. His phone screen shows comments flooding in from around the world. Rise up, family. What you're witnessing right now is the power of truth, Ethan declares to his camera. 10 million people watching live as we expose corruption that destroys communities like mine. Sophia appears beside him, laptop open, ready to present the evidence that will change everything. Her hands are steady now, the brilliant engineer stepping into her moment of destiny. Show them what we found, Ethan says, angling his phone toward her screen. The evidence unfolds like a devastating movie plot. Financial records proving the fake mold operation. Email chains between Principal Harlan and the development company. Bank transfers showing exactly how much money changed hands to destroy children's futures. But the most damning piece comes next. Sophia plays the recorded phone conversation where Uncle Victor admits the entire conspiracy, his voice dripping with internalized racism and greed. These people don't deserve prime real estate, Victor's voice echoes through the live stream. Clean up the neighborhood by moving out the undesirables. The live chat explodes with outrage as viewers realize they're witnessing a real-time exposure of systemic racism disguised as urban development. Suddenly, a black sedan screeches into the school parking lot. Uncle Victor steps out, his expensive suit wrinkled, his face a mask of desperation and rage. "Turn off that camera!" he shouts, pushing through the crowd toward Ethan. "You have no idea what you've done. You've destroyed everything." But Ethan doesn't flinch. Instead, he reaches into his jacket and pulls out something that makes Victor freeze in his tracks. Old family photos. Pictures of them together as children, playing in this same neighborhood, dreaming of better futures before racism and poverty tried to crush their spirits. "Look at this, Uncle Victor," Ethan says softly, holding up a faded picture of them building a treehouse. "Look at who we used to be before the world told us we weren't good enough." Victor's angry mask crumbles as he sees himself at age 12, arm around 8-year-old Ethan, both of them smiling without shame or self-hatred. "I remember this day," Victor whispers, his voice breaking. "We promised we'd always look out for each other." "You taught me to dream big," Ethan continues, tears flowing freely. "You said Hayes men were meant for greatness, but somewhere along the way, you let their racism poison your heart against your own people." The crowd falls silent as 10 million viewers watch a family confrontation that represents generations of internalized oppression finally coming to light. Victor stares at the photos, at the community surrounding him, at the school he was about to destroy. The weight of his betrayal crashes down like an avalanche. "I was wrong," he says, voice barely audible. "Greed blinded me to our roots. I became everything we used to fight against." Without another word, Victor pulls out his phone and dials 911. "This is Victor Hayes. I want to turn myself in for fraud, conspiracy, and attempted displacement of a community school. I'm at Riverside High School, and I'm ready to face the consequences." The live stream viewership spikes to 15 million as police sirens wail in the distance. Real justice happening in real time, broadcast to the world. Within an hour, Principal Harlan is led away in handcuffs, his career and reputation destroyed by his own greed. The development company's executives follow, their faces hidden behind lawyers and shame. But the real victory comes 3 weeks later. Ethan stands before the completed community mural, paintbrush in hand, surrounded by students adding their own touches to the masterpiece. The wall now reads "Dreams have no color barriers" in vibrant letters that can be seen from 3 blocks away. The state education department approved emergency funding, he announces to his camera. Riverside High gets $2 million for real improvements. New computers, upgraded science labs, and yes, fixing those actual lead pipes that were poisoning our kids. Sophia appears in frame, wearing a Northwestern University acceptance letter pinned to her shirt like a badge of honor. Her scholarship isn't stolen this time, it's earned through her brilliant investigation work. "I'm majoring in environmental engineering," she beams, "going to make sure no community has to fight for clean water and safe schools ever again." "Breaking barriers and changing STEM forever," Ethan adds proudly. "No more gender stereotypes, no more assuming Latina women can't be scientists." The camera pans to show Marcus and the other former bullies approaching nervously. They've requested to speak on Ethan's channel, and their words carry the weight of genuine remorse. "Yo, Ethan, we need to say this publicly," Marcus begins, looking directly into the camera. "We were jealous, man. Your success made us feel bad about ourselves, so we tried to tear you down. But watching you fight for this school, risk everything for kids you don't even know." Another adds, "That inspired us to be better, to stop hating and start hoping." The emotional climax comes when Ethan's mother arrives, still wearing her work uniform from her double shift at the hospital. She wraps her son in a hug that contains 23 years of struggle, sacrifice, and unconditional love. "I'm so proud of you, baby," she whispers, tears streaming down her face. "You could have walked away, stayed safe, protected your career, but you chose integrity over everything." Ethan looks directly into his camera for the final message, his voice strong and clear. "Fame tested me, family betrayed me, corporations tried to silence me. But at the end of the day, integrity won, truth won, community won." He gestures to the school behind him, now alive with construction sounds and children's laughter. The mentorship program starts next month. Rise Up Youth Academy, where kids from neighborhoods like this get the support I wish I'd had. We're turning pain into purpose. The screen fades to show testimonials from students whose lives have been changed, parents whose children will now have opportunities, and community members who learned they have power when they stand together. "What happens in the dark always comes to light," Ethan says as his signature outro begins. "We're not just telling stories, we're changing lives." If this moved you, like, subscribe, and most importantly, stand up against injustice in your own community. Comment your story below, because every voice matters in this fight. Remember, rise up, family. Your background doesn't determine your destiny. Your choices do. And sometimes, the biggest choice you'll ever make is deciding to fight for people who can't fight for themselves. The final shot shows the completed mural, children playing in a safe schoolyard, and a community that learned they were never powerless. They just needed someone to remind them of their strength.